everyone, welcome back to another episode of Through the Lens with Civil Engineers. My name is Anushka and I'll be your host for today's episode. So for today with us we have Bidhan Das Gupta, who has an 8 years of professional experience, who is certified in project management and Six Sigma, is a gold medalist by PMI, is currently a deputy manager at DS Group and was earlier concerned at in PwC India. He's also worked in CCCL India Limited. So we are very privileged and glad you joined us today. And before starting,
Thank you for this. Yeah,
would you like to give add up to a few more achievements or like a quick introduction about yourself?
we have pretty much covered everything.
Oh,
So, but most important than any educational qualification is for a civil engineer is the work experience that he gathers.
mm,
Because most of the things we learn on the job training, and probably that's what makes our job a bit different from what maybe other engineering functions do. So
mm.
yeah, that's it more or less. We have covered everything. Thank you for that also.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Okay, so the first question is how did you end up in this field? Like, what was like, it was a family thing, or it was a personal preference, or just life happened, or like, how did you like end up in this field?
Well, to be very honest, as I just mentioned, that life happened,
Oh,
and I have to go with that because I don't know. Like engineering was always a choice, but then again, civil engineering, I don't know about that. And I'm talking about my initial years when I was maybe in 11th or 12th.
mm,
But I did like geometry. I did like having an analytical background to say at least. So when opportunities like mechanical, civil, and the similar, profiles came into my choice, uh, and of course, my father being associated with purely engineering department, although he's from an administrative background, so civil engineering was always a term that I've always heard from my childhood.
okay.
So next thing, like yeah, whatever options you have and what are the things you have in your mind, and
Mm,
you connect the dots, and that's how I ended up in civil engineering.
okay. Because now it's like the what do you say, IT engineering is on its peak. So I had
Right.
like this thing like what was like because everyone like if you see IT engineering everybody is like more into, even if my friends or my knowns mainly like IT is on its peak. So I've had this thing
Exactly.
like it's something not, it's a bit of rare. Yeah. So coming back to that, my second question, it's for basically for the budding engineers. So how much you feel
Right.
like the initial internship duration, like the internship experience plays a role in your initial years?
Well, Anushka, as I just mentioned in the very first, that experience plays a very key role in our field because whatever we learn and whatever we do at the field level
Mm,
are quite different. I mean, you may learn about structural engineering, you may learn about RCC designs,
mm,
but when you come to an actual project site, it's hardly what you do. What you learn is how to manage people. What you learn is how to manage resources. So that hands-on experience always starts from an internship. When I started out, and I was in probably in the third year of my engineering when I did my first internship, and it was a very not a pleasant experience, but something which I would always cherish because the opportunities to interact with people and what we learn and what you are expected to do at a project level is a gap that you need to bridge, and it's better to bridge it in your educational tenure during the 4 years of your engineering. So internship plays a very key role. I would suggest budding engineers to do as many internships as they can
okay. Yeah.
receive at least one or two.
Mm, okay. That's great. Um, yeah. Okay. So like it's for your initial year, it's like an experience. Although if you're not getting paid or something like, but still it's like in your initial year, it acts as a what do you say, use your theoretical knowledge in your practical
Yeah,
implementation. Okay, that's great.
exactly. So it's better to bridge the gap right
Hmm.
in the within the 4 years of your engineering.
Okay. So I would like to ask you, like, do you feel like there are any qualities or any facilities the colleges, the civil engineering which the colleges are providing, should change or should modify or should add up something like according to your experience or your thinking?
Well, Anushka, I did my engineering completed 10 years back. So
Okay.
at the time, the facilities that I was having was far less compared to what probably today people are getting. What I did to get an internship was to follow my friends. Like somebody has got a chance to get an internship, so probably I have asked him, "Oh, can you just refer me there?" But today's world, probably the placement committees or the internship committees do take really high initiatives to get every student at least one internship as possible. But again, there is always scope for improvement. And what matters most is that it's not just internship wherever they can get. It's something which will be impactful for their career. I mean, if it doesn't benefit you on the long run, then it is not as much helpful for you. So the placement committees and the college bodies should at least think about and get to know about what is the career passion and try to get a internship in line with their choice of field.
So
So that is something probably
okay, so like the previously the question you asked, like internship is like important to bridge the gap. So even
right,
if like if a student wants to pursue like
right,
to be a part of a bigger organization after just
right,
graduation, so is it possible
right.
or like they need to have a proper internship or like an experience? So is there a possibility to be a part of like Tata or any bigger company, or like it's like they have to work harder for your dream or like
Well, yes, working hard is always the basic. I
yeah
mean,
like
you have to work
experience
hard.
is the major. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to work hard, but then again, how to end up in the internship? That's a big question. Like you need an assistance or you need somebody to refer you to some organization. So you have to keep following out with people. And nowadays, in every engineering or every business lineup, you need to do a lot of networking. So
Hmm.
that goes hand in hand with your educational background and as well as your internship or whatever steps you are taking. So do a lot of networking and get to know where are the internship experiences are available at this moment, and try to connect with people. And I have been given an advice when I was very early in my career that a stranger would help you more than somebody who is quite
No,
known to you.
yeah. They don't want sometimes
So
like a
yeah,
competition thing. They don't want you to go ahead. True that. That's like in every
yeah,
field, not particularly. It's
yeah,
like a life lesson. Okay.
yeah.
So like
So something like that.
yeah. No,
So
no, go
that's
ahead. Go ahead.
how like you have to understand that what suits you the most and then try to apply there. And hopefully that after with your hard work and with your dedication to getting an internship, and since we're talking about only internship only, not about the job experience, so I'm pretty sure that nowadays people will end up getting good internship.
Okay, that's
So
great. Yeah. Okay, so like you mentioned, like your graduation was like 10 years ago. And from
right,
like back, if you see the 10 years and when you see now, what are the
right.
changes you have witnessed? Would you like to share some of the most like remarkable,
Well,
drastic or some?
that is something, of course, I have to take myself down the memory lane. But what I would like to start with it is of my first year in civil engineering. I mean, one small interaction with one of our key professors.
Hmm,
But he asked all of us, "Why did you join engineering? Why did you join civil engineering?"
hmm,
So of course, our answers were like to get a job, to get earn, like get a good company to join and get into the thick of things, everything.
yeah.
So what he mentioned that then probably you should not have joined civil and joined some other branch. We asked, why did you? Why is that? He told me that like a doctor or any other profession where consulting mind is required,
Hmm,
it is better to gain a lot of experience first and then think about uh, being a better into your field or maybe earning more. So keeping in line with that interaction with my professor, what I felt that initial few years of my work experience were far more demanding and far more rewardful in the long run. What
Oh,
I endured in the first 2 to 3 years were much more hectic, you can say. I mean, I didn't get much sleep. I didn't get much time to interact with people or family. What I did is more of uh, managing things, managing multiple things at a single point of time. But the benefit that I got from that experience is immense. I mean, had I not been to that particular experience, probably I would not be here what I am today. So having that experience and then trying to relate that knowledge you have gained and then to the experience is very critical, which in the later stages of my career so far, I tried to do that. I did post graduation from NICMAR, keeping in line with my experience. And then, whatever position today I am in, it's basically just like a flower trying to bloom from its early budding stage and then trying to decipher. I mean, I'm still not sure where I will end up 10 years down the line again, but at least trying to make sense of what I did in the early 2, 3 years of my career. And now what I'm doing is just a expression of my initial experience. So yeah, that is something which is really essential, and that's all I can say about as of now my experience so far.
okay. Okay. So, like, would you like to share some of your, like, not mistakes, I would say, like, any kind of advice to the current, like, the budding civil engineers, or like some mistakes they should be like, just alert them, like, yeah, these are the fact things, like, something like that. If you have something in your mind.
Well, before even joining engineering, I would like to suggest that please, in today's world, you have a lot of advice, a lot of media to look into, a lot of people to talk to. Make sure you are joining the right course. If you think you
Yeah.
are right for this civil
Career
engineering,
counseling is the must, like,
exactly. I mean, we didn't get this opportunity when we were, at that age. So there's something which today's people or the students which are, about to join any graduation course should do that. And then you decide if you are 100% sure that this is what you want to do. You pursue it, and when you join it, you don't look back, because you can only get success if you have achieved certain amount of experience, certain amount of expertise and skill set, and which doesn't come from your 4 years of engineering. You have to meet people, you have to network, you have to do a lot of things, and all those things will culminate into and make you a better professional. So never looking back once you have joined, and then try to gain as much, uh, meet people and try to make a difference in their lives. I mean, for example, in this pandemic situation, you can see that most of the laborers are affected,
yeah.
who are the key mainstays of any project. I mean, without laborers, of whatever degree or post graduation we do, we can't build any project, we can't build a building. So you have to understand how you can make efforts to make a mark in these people's life as well. Unless you can do that, you will not be a person who can impact the performance. And people are everything to nowadays. Process and everything are there, but people are always the key mainstays. So that's how you have to think about your profession first, whether you want to join civil engineering. And if you have joined, then you should not look back. And once you have gained an experience, then you should try to give something back to the society as well. So that's how probably people can think about how they should proceed.
Yeah, like not particularly in civil engineering, you should know what you're doing. Like the career counseling thing is like the must, as you mentioned. You should,
Exactly,
yeah, that's true. Like even if
exactly.
someone decides to be an engineer, they're not sure like if it's a mechanical or civil or IT or like there is a vast.
So, well, I will share you some one experience. When I was in the first year, you can probably know that by the time it's second year, you get a chance to shift from one stream to another. So I was asked one of my professors that please come to IT because Microsoft comes for recruitment. And how many does Microsoft take is only one number. So what are the chances?
Okay.
So I had to think like that also. Like the fact that only because of Microsoft I want to move to IT, and what are the efforts I need to put in for that. So you have to understand your situation, the background you come from, as well as your personal goals. And the clearer it is for you, the better it is for you to make a clear judgment. And once you've made the judgment, it is always advisable to do not look back. Pursue that with your whole heart.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so like the last question, it's not like a question, it's just like, would you like to just walk us through your entire journey from just like a quick gist, like till now, from the day you actually decided to do civil engineering till now, like just a small summary, just for the.
So probably based on milestones, you can say.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. So like, how do you like me to explain that, like, to probably milestones or achievements, something.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. So as I said that I started engineering in 2007. So that was one of the key milestones where I started. Then 4 years of engineering followed. 2011 I graduated and I got my first job. And 2012 I will mention because 2012 one of the key uh, activities that I performed which gave me a good promotion, which is important to get recognized. I mean, it is really important in engineering, civil engineering, that you get recognized. And then I left my job in 2014 and to pursue post graduation. So I took a sabbatical for a few months. That is also important that you understand where you stand, where you are standing. If you want to take a step back, that was my period of taking a step back and understand where I want to be. And then I went to NICMAR for 15 to 17. That was also another key period. I got a huge learning and
okay,
I met different people whom I can understand and share my knowledge with. 17, I got into PwC, which was another brilliant experience that I had. I mean, in consulting, I can say that people are much more attracted by the colors and or maybe the dresses that people and the places that people be. But far more important thing to learn from consulting experience is the journey that you have. I mean, one day you get to be in a different place than the other. You travel, you meet people, you understand their psychologies, you understand their philosophies, and how you want to make a change in their life. So that journey was really essential for me as well. And later on, after I joined here, it was a senior position that I joined. So it was a chance for me to showcase my skills, that whatever I've learned in consulting, can I do that in
yeah,
the without having a supervisor? Can I do that without having a proper guide in place? And that's how so far my journey has been. So I am thankful that it happened, because without it I would not have understood what are my capabilities would be, and how do I fit into this whole world of business and jobs and works and professions. So yeah, that's something whatever I just told you. It's more or less about what is it.
okay, yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I would say like this was one of the most candid interview. Like you were honest, like yeah, life happened. You didn't practically like chose civil engineering as it. And yeah, and it was like a really fun, insightful session. And I hope like the budding engineers who watch it would find it useful for them. And yeah, I guess thank you. Just thank just a second. Yeah.
Yeah, so just one more line to end with. So I've been following Protrainy for maybe last 1 year or so. So it's something which I really appreciate, that a team has come up to cater to the need of the civil engineering domain, and it's really beneficial for people who doesn't have access to a lot of course materials, who doesn't have access to a lot of uh, uh, insights to get them and to make a change in their careers. I mean, civil engineers do a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
We basically build this
The
whole
nation builders, we
country.
could say. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should have this guidance and we should have this facilities which should help us in grow our career. So hats off to your team. You are
Yeah.
doing a good job.
So much.
So thank
Yeah.
you again for having me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I know you're busy and I can see like you're in an office and still you agreed to for the event. And yeah, thank you so much.